Well, last night you saw a real alpha male. And he didn't say fuck, which is one of his favorite words. I can't remember if he says it on camera or not, because he knew that he was going to be on YouTube, and he was on his best behavior, more or less. We're referring to Steve Ballmer, the former CEO of Microsoft, who was, is, and forevermore is a fucking animal. Just like you warriors, him aside, just like you fucking warriors. See a lot of resemblance, right? Not. Do kids still say that when they put not at the end? They used to. They still, or is it yo now?
Psych.
You're invited, you know.
I understand.
Okay. Okay. Always room for one more warrior, I was told. Not in those words. He's attending the dinner that I'm attending now with the president.
All right.
And before we get to Ballmer, I got a thank you note from the Naval Academy. Yada, 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 thank you, blah, 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 blah. Which is nice. Hopefully that I can keep some of the snowflakiness of life away from them, since they heard me before they go out to keep America great. Back to Ballmer. You remember what we saw about the court case from him from 2005, throwing chairs and tirade and I'm going to kill the fucker. Remember all that? And Jobs used to throw computers back in the days when the computers were this big, and allegedly tried to throw programmers out the window. Just like you. I mean, animals that you are. The reason why he sits up in the front is because, because all the aggression back here, he wants to make sure he can get out the door in time. But seriously, what were some of the takeaways about Steve? Other than he's an alpha male, but... Yes, sir.
Learn to sell, learn to collect money, learn to hire and fire.
Yeah, he's a salesman. He came up sales. Learn to sell, learn to collect money, learn to hire and fire. Most of the people in this room know how to hire. Some of you may have fired somebody in your careers, but we've had people here that have been 20, 25 years in the corporate world, never fired anybody. Just like they never got slapped in the schoolyard. I mean, shit. I can't imagine that you could get past middle management in corporate world and never have sacked anybody. Well, then that means they had no position of authority. Or, the worst case scenario, they had a position of authority and they never found anybody that was worth firing, which I can't believe. What else about Steve?
Similar to how you say, just fucking do it. He has if you're going to do a job, do the job. If you're not going to do it, don't do it. Don't half-ass in between.
I was watching a video in the middle of the night. When Rose interviewed Buffett and Bill Gates. Rose, before he got thrown off of being a womanizing, grabbing ass and shit. The CBS guy. No. The old guy that does interviews. Charlie, yeah. They were saying, this was a few years ago, that being busy is the new stupid. Meaning most of us make meetings and attend meetings and don't get up when a meeting's just bullshit. I can understand if you're a junior and a meeting's just bullshit, and we've all attended bullshit meetings. But just to stand up and get up and leave, it's not likely that you stay employed there too long, or if you stand up, which I'm guilty of. What the fuck are we talking about? Why are we wasting time here? But both Warren and Bill were talking about it, and Warren took out his diary, his calendar, and he has, a kind of calendar. It's just a little teeny book like this, and they opened it up, and it was April. Whenever he had 4 appointments for April, the whole fucking month, 4, and that one was being on that show. And Charlie Rose keeps looking through it like this, and Bill Gates is laughing his ass off. And it gets back to, I can make money, I can buy anything I want. This is Warren Buffett talking, but I can't buy more time. Of course, now he was probably in his mid-80s, now in his late 80s. But and Seneca, going back to the article from Seneca that was written 2000 BC or thereabouts, it's time. We all have enough time, but we waste it and we spend it on a lot of bullshit items. We're getting back to Steve Ballmer. What else about Steve?
It goes down to the same. You have to be persistent, you have to have passion and accountability.
Correct. And I'm not saying you should be less persistent, but if you make people accountable, you don't have to be as persistent. If you make, some of you don't have direct reports of people that directly report to you, okay? But for those of you that have had and will have people, and you're going to have people, i.e. your board, your dream team, if you make them accountable and you make the bar high, you, in fact, have more time and you have to be less persistent. Now, we're going to talk to tomorrow the guy that closed the deal the last few hours of the year. And I had an epiphany. When you get up in the morning or in the night and I'm scribbling down, and then I remember what I scribbled this morning, and we have a guy in the hunt doing a deal right now that I'm trying to set up a phone call with. He's in the battlefield right now, okay? ISIS is overrunning his position right as we fucking speak. He happens to be a fucking Navy guy, so, he probably doesn't know what an ISIS person looks like, but he's closing a deal right this very minute. And I emailed him when I had this epiphany, I want to talk to you while the kids are here. So I haven't heard back from him right now. But that'll be interesting. And there have been a lot of emails going back and forth, and the lawyers and the due diligence, and of course this lie, and this wasn't really here, they don't really own this, all the shit that I've told you about. But it's happening to them right this very instant. And it's where the sun bakes your brains too much. Tom, if you're listening, Southern California, where they're all, the sun has baked their brains too much, and that's why they're all goofy out there. Hopefully, Dom, I don't want you to fuck up the deal just to talk to these fucking meatheads, but if you got 10, 20 minutes in between lies, I'd be appreciative. So that aside, getting back to Ballmer. Ballmer's one of the key CEOs. He talked, if I remember correctly, about, he doesn't believe he was a one-trick pony. He thought he knew for a fact he was a two-trick pony and arguably a three-trick pony, and that's important to these guys' legacies. I just want you to be a one-trick motherfucking pony. Just one time, hit it over the fucking fence. One. I don't give a fuck about 2 or 3 tricks. Believe me, I don't care. Okay, I'm telling you right now, I will be humbled just for you to be a one-trick fucking pony. Forget those 2 and 3 tricks. Although I've got a bunch of guys that are 5, 6, 7-trick ponies. Because they're painting their legacy. What else about Steve? Yeah.
He scheduled time.
Pardon?
He scheduled time. Hour by hour basis.
Yeah. Getting back to the Bill Gates and Buffett in that interview, back in the heyday when Bill Gates was still at Microsoft and Ballmer was there, they used to trade diaries every 2 weeks, trade calendars. Legend has it. And Steve would say, Bill, you don't need these appointments, and he'd cross them out, and vice versa. Bill would say, Steve, you don't need these appointments, and cross them out. And Bill used to, and maybe he still does, keep his diary in 6-minute intervals. 6 fucking minutes. That's how long the meetings were. Now you guys, for the most part, can't fucking say hello in 6 minutes. So you had, from the time you stepped in front of him to the time you were leaving, you had 6 minutes to sell him on the idea or whatever you were doing. Now just think about that. 6 minutes.
I also heard he used to have meetings. He would have people walk with him when
Correct.
in between meetings, and they would do meetings on the way to meetings.
Yeah. When you walked with me yesterday, that's what I thought of. Not trying to equate me to Gates, but when we left your one-on-one, you had 2 more things you wanted to ask me. So he walked with me from my office through past Kim's office, past Sally's office, through the gym, and to here. And then Sally didn't walk with us, if you noticed. She would normally walk with me. And that's what they do. You see, walk with me, and then I used to have a guy in Bear Stearns run with me. I'm gonna run, and so when you go on a run, I'd run with him. With Fred, you didn't really call it running with this guy Fred, but he called it running. But I actually ran backwards. And when I used to run, I was how in the Olympics the guy goes out 4 laps, and then the other guy breaks the world record? Correct, the rabbit. I used to be a rabbit for guys that were breaking records and stuff like that. But 6 minutes though. That's an incredibly short period of time. What else about Steve? Yeah.
Despite the 6 minutes, he had a long term.
Yep. Yeah, yes.
He had this system of management accounting where he was always measuring, setting results, and then deriving where those results came from, how to improve them, and how to track where revenue's coming from, etc.
What gets measured gets accomplished. Andrew Carnegie said that, Henry Ford said that, amongst others, 100 plus years ago. And you're going to hear it until you're sick on your weekly reports. And even though I'm telling you this, you're not going to measure yourself. I'm telling you, Amber, but you won't do it on your weekly reports. Because it's so foreign to you. And even though the weekly report is set up that way, you still can't fucking do it. It's like that picture of a lung that not smoking and the lung that smokes. 60% of the people that get cancer can't quit smoking. I don't know, they don't quit smoking. I'll put it the other way. Yet they know the smoking almost assuredly caused the cancer. Not 100% positive, but almost 100%, right? And that they keep smoking. And it's not any different that, the report is set up. When you see it, you won't believe how fucking detailed it is. And yet you have difficulty, especially in the first few weeks, because it's not your fact pattern. And what else about Steve? He's obviously an alpha male. There's no question about that, right? Was there any, remember 98% of the people that are out there that are high performers are more like you. And Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Zuckerberg, amongst others, are introverts. Elon as well is an introvert.
Steve said he was shy when he was young and then developed his leadership skills. I don't know.
Well, I know some guys that knew him when he was young, and he was shy like I'm shy, you know. But I mean, he's not shy like some of the guys in this room. That's not what he meant. Okay, he's more sort of, yes, sir.
He has this kind of playful, childish-like appearance or act that he does, with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. He even says in speech talks that he's nervous getting there, and you kind of know that that's complete bullshit. And I wonder if he did that just to, scale himself down a bit and build rapport.
Yeah, because I mean, first of all, he's a big guy, and I mean, and he's a scary. I've never met him in person. But I mean, supposedly he's a scary guy, and so he wants to disarm you.
Yeah.
He wants to disarm you. You guys don't have to worry about that. Trust me. You don't have to worry about that. There's nobody going to scare anybody in this room. Even a couple of guys that are big, they're not going to scare anybody.
Can I tape a scar right here?
Oh yeah. Well, you can tape a scar on your face and then make sure they see it. Yeah. The 2 or 3 people that I know that have scars like that, and I mean, as soon as you see it, but they walk like this, like just in case you missed it. I mean, it's funny. It's quite humorous. And the people that I know that know Ballmer, he's a good shit, funny guy. But he's hard as fucking nails, and he makes people accountable, and he sets high standards, and it was a great combination for a number of years between Gates and himself. And the people they surrounded themselves with, show me your friends, and they weren't necessarily friends, and I'll show you your future. He had some really, back in the day, Microsoft had some fucking superstars. I mean, they still have superstars, but I mean, back when they were growing like this, when they were accelerating at an accelerating rate, I mean, they spawned some really terrific managers and innovative thinkers. And that's when Microsoft got all the market share, and they were aggressive, and you heard what some of the people said about Gates. He thought he was, not an alien, but he was a part of the super race. And it's a consistent theme, Steve and Bill and Zuckerberg and Elon, they believe, and if they don't believe, they certainly act as if they have no limits to their abilities, and they are, from a super race. So, I mean, again, success leaves clues. And the people that I've been around in the Onassis group and the Hunts, and then we were talking about Sid and Perry Bass last night, who Rick Scott, when he left me, and then he went to the private equity, I believe he went with the private office of the Bass Brothers in Fort Worth, Texas, and I asked him if it still smelled like a shithole, a stockyard, and he said yes, more or less, although if you think it smells like that now, boy, 30, 35 years ago, it really smelled. And these guys were special. Not special in the sense that the millennials talk about being special. Because I don't think that's special. I think that's average. They think special because every snowflake of the trillions of snowflakes that fall from the sky is different, which is true. And so they ascertain that we're all special. And on that note, YouTube, you're not fucking special, believe me. But thank you. We'll talk to you later.